kind of woman my mother is. When I was born, the doctor said, "It's a boy." And she had the presence of mind to look down, laugh, and correct him. "No," she said, "it's a girl, and she's pooping." A few minutes later, a nurse lifted me up and said, "Oh, she's probably about 7 pounds, average." My mom said, "No, way more, we're a solid people." She weighed me 9 pounds, 4 ounces. Good work, Mom. I like the story for what I can make it say about me. I'm someone who's been challenging gender norms. I'm someone who's been underestimated my entire life. But I also really I enjoy what it says about my mom. My mom is a woman who, in the immediate postpartum moment, is not willing to take a medical professional's word about what is a basic fact. But the reason she wasn't was because it was sort of contrary to her intuitive understanding of, she thought I would be a girl, so she was just double checking. And this sort of superior knowledge of your own body, of your own children, was to me sort of a parable of what it was supposed to mean to be a mother. So, and it sort of worked with my first kid. I thought he's gonna be a boy. I gave him a male fetal name. He turned out to be a boy, crushing it. I told my midwife, I thought labor was gonna be fast. She said, "Don't get ahead of yourself." It took 5 hours start to finish, again, killing it. I said he's going to be a giant, 9 pounds, 10 ounces. Excellent. So when it came time to have my second child, I was feeling pretty confident that I knew what I was doing. And so my husband wanted to find out the gender at the ultrasound, and I said, "Fine, we can find out that it's a girl, 6 months earlier." And so in the ultrasound room, the technician says, "Oh, look, you've got an excellent brain structure, you have a functioning stomach, and there's the penis." And I said, "Okay, but are you sure? Like, couldn't that be an umbilical cord or a shadow?" And she said, "Possibly, here are the testicles." And I said, but can't there be like some ovaries that haven't been absorbed by the body, or couldn't they just be growths? And my husband just stares at me, and I said, "Benign growths, like couldn't they just be growths?" And she said, "It is not very likely." So in the parking lot after the ultrasound, I am crying and pretending that I'm not crying. And my husband and my mother are doing me the dignity of pretending I'm not crying. And while I'm getting snot on my suit coat, I say, "It's just, I always thought I would have a daughter." And my mother says, it must be an adjustment. So a week later, we have another adjustment. The out-of-network OB who read my ultrasound has decided that the baby is too big for the age that the gestational age it should have. So the OB has decided I'm wrong. I don't know when my menstrual cycle begins and ends. I don't know the 4 times I've had sex since I've had a child. And I am in fact due 2 weeks earlier. So they have adjusted my due date. And I tell my midwives, I say, "I'm just having a giant baby. It's very normal." And they say, like, "Well, it's probably not gonna matter anyway. You're definitely not gonna hold out till your due date." A week after my adjusted due date, I am still feeling very confident that I know when my due date is. I'm not confident that I'm having a girl anymore, but it's possible. But they want to start talking about scheduling an induction, and when you talk about scheduling an induction, you need to talk to the OB. So I talked to the OB, and he is very worried, and he asks me if I understand statistics. I do, and we talk for a while, and he tells me that we agree, there's a 1.2% chance that I am right, and that I'm not due for another week and that everything's fine. And when it's clear that those are odds I'm willing to take, he says the word tear, and then he says the word hemorrhage. He doesn't say the word stillbirth, so I go to work. That night at midnight, I get a call from the midwife, and she says the word stillbirth. She says, "I have excessive amniotic fluid," which results in a 10-fold risk of stillbirth. So I go to the hospital, and on the drive there, I'm sort of doubled over in preemptive grief and trying to see if I can feel any fetal movement. But At this point, I feel like it's just wishful thinking, or it might be a sort of useless contraction. And my husband keeps saying, it's okay. And I say, how do you know it's okay? How do you know he's not dead already? And he says, I just know. And so he's very confident. We get to the hospital. I'm ready to be hooked up to a fetal monitor, any tool of the patriarchy at this point. And they say, and there's a heartbeat, and there's a heartbeat. This is the kind of woman I am. I say, okay, can I have a few hours to rest before we do the induction? And then I spend the time writing one last email to my boss and go into labor on my own naturally and deliver a 10-pound, 11-ounce baby. Boom. That wasn't supposed to be the end of the story, but time is super up, so I'm going to go. Bye. Thank you.